Hello, everybody. So, guys, let's talk about the Gwede Mantashe story thing. So, it turns out that Gwede Mantashe was seen at David Mabuza's funeral. So, he's not in Europe, but there's a lot of questions around this smoke. As you know, in South Africa, as we say, where there is smoke, there's a braai somewhere, right? So I'm going to withdraw that part, but I just want to speak to those of y'all who look mature, but here clearly things are not happening for you as an adult because if you look at the video, the title, it has a punctuation mark. If you don't know what a punctuation mark is, it could be a full stop, could be a comma, could be a question mark. There's a question mark there before I say skaka. Question mark. So you're supposed to have said, okay, these are not confirmed news, and you leave it at that. And if you know information, then you come and say, like many people who are matured said it. No, Clancis, he was at the funeral. Unless I saw somebody that looked like him. Then, of course, I don't watch anything that has to do with ANC or ANC members, whether they are alive or dead. I have no interest in those people. So I would not even bother watching the funeral of David Mabuza or any member of the ANC for that matter. So now I had to go and look. I had to go and look, and yeah, indeed, he is in the funeral, Gwede Mantashe. So he's at home. He's not in Europe. But there are also other people that are saying actually he's been charged with money laundering. Again, I don't know how true this is, but whatever happens, they deserve it. About time that they are held accountable for the nonsense that they've put us through in the past 31 years. Yeah, if they've committed these crimes, let them get arrested. And I stand on that. Everything else that I said about mainstream media and my observation of the mainstream media and the new media, I stand on that one. I stand on that one because we are observing how the mainstream media in this country is selective and it's no longer having the people of South Africa at heart in mind, let alone our democracy. Because if they were on the job, all of this will not be happening. You know, I did say to you guys that I did delve into like political party establishment before. And I remember how at some time, whenever the journalists come to report, or maybe they get called, sometimes from what I have observed, they wanted some sort of something. That's when I knew that the media in this country is messed up. They would ask for money for petrol. Or if I come, there would be food provided. We know what those things mean. And I'm not saying all of them, but the ones that I have, what I have observed and where I was like, oh, so if you're not going to have breakfast money or petrol money, they're not going to come and cover your party. They're not gonna come and cover your party for get it. Whether that is a community radio station, with community radio stations, I understand because they are mostly NPOs or something. I think they fall under MPO, and so they do rely on donations. That I understand with local with what is it called again? Community radio stations or community media. That I can understand that in order for them to be able to come to you, they're not like mainstream media where they've got a budget. They don't have a budget. So the little that you can give them, it helps. And also you are giving them content for their radio stations as well. I think it gets a little bit higher depending on the slots that you are asking for. I think they even have packages of some sort. That I understand. Where I become very, very concerned is with the mainstream media, from national, even provincial. I have a problem with that because they are making money out of ads, they are making money out of many things, and they do have those resources. So now to ask for petrol money and lunch money, or not actually, they don't say money, they say petrol or lunch. So that's where I knew that nah, the media in this country messed up to the core, unless that is a normal practice. And I was just telling someone else I'm having a conversation with on the chat, which now has stopped moving again because I think I'm above the 50 mark of the comments. I was just we were just talking about how I stopped watching the media, especially like news channels around 2016. And I came back just recently to check how things are. They're worse than ever. And now when you are watching the news, you are like, wait a minute, the spokesperson of this political party, were you not a journalist at some point? Now you those things raises a lot of questions. Like, now that you're a spokesperson of this organization, which is a political party, when you used to report about them, were you impartial? So I stand on that one when it comes to the media. I'm sorry, they're going to have to clean up their act and the reputation that they've built for themselves. But the Gwede Mantashe one, clearly it's not true. So that part we withdrawing it, but I'm keeping the video because I want the rest of what I said to have we have a discussion on it. The new media and the mainstream media and what has changed the people's trust. And I'm seeing comments where people are saying we are trusting YouTubers, TikTokers, as well as podcasts. That's where they now relying on. So had the mainstream media been doing what they're supposed to be doing, some of them will not be actually lobbying parliament to regulate YouTubers and podcasters. We hear those things. We hear those things that they are lobbying, and unfortunately for them, one of the conditions for YouTube to exist in South Africa is freedom of expression, and YouTube does not negotiate with any government where there's YouTube in that country when it comes to freedom of expression, and that means your regulation must adhere to those conditions. And we are not doing anything to harm anybody. And if we are wrong, like in the first part of the title of the video about Gwede Mantashe, we'll come back and say, okay, guys, it looks like that information was incorrect. He was at the funeral of David Mabuza, and then it ends there. Now, and please, guys, if you are new here, I believe sincerely that I am blessed with very intelligent people. People that follow this channel are smart people, are people that pay attention to everything, including punctuation marks. And even on top of my head in that video, it's written in white bold letters, allegedly. And I decided to put the whole thing throughout the video because I knew there were going to be some people, in case this was not a correct news, going to come and demonstrate, you know what, right? We got two IQs here, we rub them together and we try to make sense. But when you wanna dance on my grave, this is not your channel. What I mean is, this is not your tribe. The people on this channel, the tribe, the clan, it's not yours. You should go to other people where y'all do these things at. All right. I just want to say that. So yeah, the Gwede Mantashe story, ignore it. Apparently it's not true. And I'm going to have a talk with Eugene. Like, Eugene, what exactly were you talking about? Unless I misunderstood Eugene, because now when I'm looking at Google, there are talks of arrests there. If you go and Google, there are talks of arrests, but there is no arrest. So I think that's what Eugene was telling me. But the arrest itself in Europe and a summit there, turns out he was at the funeral of David Mabuza. And again, I don't watch anything ANC. I would not be able to stomach it. Absolutely. Even when Cyril Ramaphosa speaks, I speak because I'm a South African and I have to hear all that lies and sound bites that comes out of his mouth. I have to. And so I'm able to analyze it and make sense about what he's trying to say. But other than that, I'm sorry, disgusting. Disgusting. I will not put myself through that. And I don't think you should either. Because you're going to be hearing the same speeches over and over and over. But anyways, guys, let me leave it here. I just came to say, ignore that Gwede Mantashe part. Turns out it's just other people doing their thing. And that is what I was talking about earlier. Okay, no, anyways, we'll talk about that in some other video, not this one. All right, then. Thank you so much. Goodbye.